want to make interpretations because they so enamored with what's happening with Beyonce. Now, Beyonce's tour is an event. When she comes out and performs, it's normally something epic. Now, I'm not downing this tour. That's not what I'm doing. Now, what people are missing here is this notion that the public is running with. That Beyonce, for some reason, is not selling tickets, and this is all a terrible misunderstanding, and people are trying to, come after the tour. Well, that's why you come here for the truth, right? You come here for that moment. Now, thank you. Yes, my Cash App is Carcino, Carceno. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Hit the like button, please. The like button is free. Well, they talking about in Tottenham Stadium, overseas. She didn't have a sellout show. She had hundreds of seats that wasn't sold. Well, it's not Texas. It's Tottenham. Okay? Get over it. One thing I can tell you is everybody who went to a Beyonce concert to see Cowboy Carter, they loved it. Absolutely loved the concert. Beyonce's concerts cost a lot of money. And to say this isn't a success, it's far from it. But I think this is from a business perspective, I wouldn't have done it this soon. Not while Kendrick is out here doing what he's doing. That's a huge problem. You're telling the fans they're gonna have to pick what they're gonna do. Am I gonna save my money to go see Die? Or am I gonna save or am I gonna go see Beyonce? Right. So everybody that's going there actually likes the show. Now, here's the thing. A Beyonce concert is a Beyonce concert. Her celebrity is going to sell the shows. The truth of the fact is, not a lot of people like the album. So you're touring an album that has a large appeal of people not really liking the album. They like Beyonce. So you got people showing up. She's doing some of her older songs. She did Formation, which I don't like that song either, but she performed that. And I'm quite sure the Beehive was in full attention. But there's a lot of things that go into a Beyonce concert that's not going to go into a K Dot and SZA show. They're packing them in for less money. Do you know what it costs for wardrobes, production costs for a Beyonce concert? Do you know how much power that they're using for the lights, the displays, all the dancers? That's massive. Beyonce has like 78 to 100 dancers sometimes. Look at that. They're like a damn choir. Now, one thing you can't say is, man, I went to the show and it was not my money's worth. Beyonce is going to give you your money's worth. But they want to point out in Tottenham, she didn't sell out some tickets on a show. Now, why go through such an extreme? Now, when Beyonce came into town, yes, in some cities, they weren't selling tickets the way that Beyonce's show usually don't sell. She came to Chicago in May. That tour came here in May, and Kendrick's was coming after that. So people had to make a decision on if they're going to see Beyonce or Kendrick Lamar. Mm. Yeah, well, when you get into this, looking at AEG and all these other people who are responsible for putting the money up, and you start seeing people do things that are considered to be unusual. And when Beyonce comes into town, everybody freezes. So a month before Dot gets here, Beyonce comes here and performs. And this, I'm going to tell you, here in Chicago, wasn't a sellout. And people were in there like, man, there was a lot of empty seats, B. I'm like, you're kidding. They was like, nah, it was a lot of empty seats. And these from people that was there. Now, what I've learned is, which I'm finna tell you guys right now, understand the news that spread it was the truth. It was like pretty much a spaghetti western type of affair. The Cowboy Carter tour was already booked and scheduled to do what it was doing. Like when she came out with the album, the tour, the dates is already put in place. So they couldn't move it. You know, this GNX tour, um, stadium tour just happened to pop up after they arranged it and they just kept adding more dates. Now they've added an Australian leg to the tour, which is going to put this tour probably at the 300 million mark by the time they're done. This is going to be a very lucrative tour. Now, because Beyonce has so many things going on this tour, it's caused a lot of problems. There's going to be wardrobe malfunctions. There's going to be all different type of things going on because every night something's going to work. One night it's not going to work in another town. You've had events where Beyonce almost got knocked out by by a robotic machine. It's crazy. Yeah, she has a robot pouring her drink. That's her robot. Look, this thing almost knocked her out. She had to get in front of it because she was in the wrong spot. Now this robot pours her a glass of whiskey, right? And then she drinks it while she's like watching TV. Now this one, the robot misses the entire glass, pours it on the side of it, and she's like, "What the heck is this?" So it's been robotic malfunctions. It's been all kind of craziness on the tour. But what you want to do is always make sure that Beyonce's going to make sure she's doing things that you guys haven't seen, something that's cool that you're going to talk about. So the show is actually, yes, in Gundam suits. Exactly. A lot of it, somebody said, looks like the Renaissance tour. I'm not somebody that breaks my neck to go to Beyonce tour, but the people I know, the girls I've dated, they go on these tours, and once they go on these tours, right, when they go on the tours, that's when it change. They go on those tours, and that's when it starts going. Well, yeah, they wanna get on the tours and do what they supposed to do. No, I think that I don't know if there was anything they could do about it because it probably this was the scheduled tour, and Kendrick thing just happened to come along with it. And there's been plenty of bands that have to tour. Like there's a lot of, you go see what you want to see. I just don't think the people understood that how massive this was. If I'm Beyonce's people, we got to push back the tour. That's how I'm looking at it. Like we have to push back the tour. Well, when you start figuring out what's going on in the world, then you start to see what's what. I'm I'm somebody like, well, yeah, she's all. I mean, you're always gonna jack something when you Beyonce. She's not an original person. You got to understand that. Um, the cheapest seat I could find was like 280 when Drake and J. Cole came to Tampa last year. It was like $300 to see Drake. Well, this was pretty much before they were destroyed. The For All the Dogs tour and all that. Now Drake do a tour. Now the cheapest ticket gonna be like $50. They gonna do anything to try to get you in there. Well, they didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but the robot was caused by the fact that Beyonce was supposed to be. She wasn't standing on a mark. It wasn't marked on the floor where she's supposed to stand, where the robot's supposed to come in at. See? Now watch. You can see the show and her performance. Look, that's her with the robot. Now watch. Here she is standing there. She's looking for the mark. She don't see it. She's like, "Where the mark?" She's still singing. She's just gonna just stand there, and then here come the robot machines, and then the other one's like gonna almost hit her in the head, but there's no mark on the floor for where she's supposed to stand, and she was looking for it, but it wasn't there, so she just stayed where she was and kept performing. Mm-hmm. Well, things happen on stage. That's why it's live. Mistakes happen. Beyonce has failed. I mean, dude, you know how many times somebody done failed? Beyonce fell like 30, 40 steps down, got up and was hitting the notes. Da, 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 da. You ain't got time to focus on no fall. They got like these crazy wardrobe changes. You know what I'm saying? So the wardrobe start getting changed. They start flipping around, doing all these different things. So all of it becomes a situation that's like you can handle it. Yeah. No, I never look at it that way. Well, yeah, she took Michael Jackson's ideas that he had for his concert with the robotic thing with all the images. She did that. A lot of people took it from Michael Jackson on the what he was going to do for the This Is It concert. They just implemented it in their concerts. The robotic machine that covers him, and it was going to show all these news clippings around the world, all this video footage, and then once the robot opens up, Michael Jackson comes out of the robot. Then they had the thing that shoots him from the floor, like as soon as it gets up, this hydraulic that boosts Michael up. Michael comes out and starts doing his thing. They delayed the start of the tour for Michael Jackson because he was not physically ready for that tour. It wasn't gonna survive. He was gonna do 10 shows. They pushed it to 50 shows. Well, Mm-hmm. Everything was about moments and about money. No, everything was about glory and money, right? No. A Beyonce concert is not going to be the same as a Kendrick Lamar show. Okay, it's just not. It's going to be on a whole bigger scale. While Kendrick show would go off, but you're not going to have 100 dancers. You're not going to have like the Super Bowl, yes. But when he go on tour, you're not going to see the Super Bowl set. Mm. No, the fights have been with engineers, people who are not having the set properly done. Her screen is not, a lot of people, energy levels are entirely different. So when you're on the international leg of your tour, like she just did London, they've had problems with the screens, they've had problems putting up her visual display so that the rest of the people could see it on the jumbotron because people's power levels are different in different countries and everything. So they have to prepare when a Beyonce or somebody like that is coming into town. Well, so many different regions of people that come from seemingly all different directions. Mm-hmm. No, they don't feel that way, B. Let me tell you the real reason here. The huge issues is cost production. It's not going to be that this tour is a failure. It's not a failure. You're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. It's just certain media that normally promotes Beyonce want to put out slanderous shit about Beyonce because of the simple fact she's doing country music and made a country album. So the whole thing is let's go ahead and attack Beyonce. Hmm. All of these people are. Beyonce still can get it from the back. No, it's just the tour, man. That's all it is. I don't like the album. But I can tell you right now, Beyonce is not having trouble selling a lot of tickets. I can tell you this right now. Beyonce's not having a lot of trouble selling a lot of tickets. A lot of the shows aren't sellouts. You don't have to sell out to have a successful tour. But some of the places the tickets were sold out. You gotta understand. She is Beyonce. She's not just some run of the mill entertainer. Okay? This is Beyonce. You're paying your ticket for celebrity. She could be singing Midnight Train Coming to Georgia or whatever. It don't matter what the song is. They there to see Beyonce. Right. 80% of the tickets are sold. And in her case, it's like 85% of the tickets are sold. If she's not packing them in Tottenham, who cares? Now, here's the news. A Beyonce tour effect is going to cost and budget and run up millions of dollars. So they have to spend more money on a Beyonce tour than they would a Kendrick and Scissors show. Now, what Kendrick is giving you is more bang for the buck. I mean, giving them more profit because you're not spending that much and you're making way, way more than you've ever anticipated. With Beyonce, you thought you were probably going to make somewhere from 400 to some odd million plus, and it looks like the cost and production is so high, you're not going to hit those benchmarks that you were gunning for. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh, there you go, Jessica. I haven't heard anybody complain about Kendrick's sound. Yeah, I heard that about the Super Bowl, but not the tour. When people are adding legs to their tour, that's because the tour is an overall success. The tour is so successful, it has done more than anticipated. And when you're doing more than what's anticipated, it changes the whole perspective of what people think about the tour. It changes their whole scope, the spectrum, the whole nine. Now, Beyonce is doing 85% tickets sold. Plus, for them, that might not be a success. They probably looking at we need 90 to 95% of the tickets sold to get our money. So, it's you never know because of the budget cost. Like, I don't know what this costs to make, but believe me, the stages, the sets, the costume designs, all of that's costing money. And Beyonce is not having problems selling tickets. But I probably would have pushed this back. Now, I know what they were thinking. Kendrick Lamar's a rapper. Rap shows, and there hasn't been a rap tour that didn't perform like on its own, doing the numbers it's been doing. No, this is all because they don't want a black person doing country music. Even though she's from Houston, Texas. You can't do country music. That's whites only. Even though you got black country musicians. She ain't country. All I know is the people that went to Beyonce's show, they enjoyed it. They love Beyonce shows. Beyonce threw down. She's gonna do all these dances. She's gonna have choreographers. She's got all these movements going on. She got robots. She got like all kind of like robot looking dog thing chairs, Asian sets. It is crazy. The budget and the amount of money that goes into a Beyonce show. But somebody says the Renaissance tour was better than this, though. Oh, that Renaissance tour was unbelievable. And I'm the one that's like this. What the hell is the Renaissance tour? I'm the one that's always scratching his head going, what's that? Because I don't know. I don't do the Renaissance thing. So I wouldn't know how to even approach that. But if you dated a woman they gonna tell you about Beyonce and her show and her tour, all that stuff. Right. All you gotta do is date a woman, homie. Date a woman. And you're gonna know all about it. A woman will get on a phone and be on the phone for 2 to 3 hours talking about an outfit. And you gotta sit around and listen to this garbage. Now, here's the crazy thing. Her and the girl just went to the concert. They come home and talk for another 2, 3 hours about the damn concert. Not to mention they just rode together in the car talking about the concert. Then they come in the house and then they on the phone talking about the concert. And then when she had that red thing on, I don't know why they wore that though. I wouldn't have wore that. Cause that red thing, yeah, cause that when the light hit it, but I seen that blouse. They had that down at Macy's. Girl, they got that at Macy's. You gotta listen to this type nonsense. You just gotta sit there, be quiet, shut up, and let it go down. But in your mind, you like, I can't listen to this no more. But yes, women love Beyonce. They love Beyonce so much, they lie about the damn albums. That's how messed up things are. People lie to themselves a lot. And you'll be surprised at how often it happens. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. Captain America, baby. It's a brave new world. It's a brave new world. No, I don't believe in any bad ilk that they would say would come to Beyonce because of it. Beyonce is a global icon. So when you hit that stage of international, where you could do international shows on your own, the fact that Kendrick Lamar now has hit that mark where he's an international global phenomenon and it was bigger than they've ever thought. Most people don't know. Yes, it's unfortunately this is white celebrities or whatever, um, well, not white celebrities, but white conservatives that don't like the songs like America Has a Problem and stuff like that from Beyonce. It's like, what problems do you face, Beyonce? You're rich. Well, it's like, what's next for you? See, when people are exceptional, they do things that are fundamentally not sound. Yeah, there's a lot of different people who believes in these type of numbers and these type of projections, but other than that, nobody really cares. The business element of it, yeah, well, the business aspect of it is going to bring everything to a head because for the business perspectives and what's usually expected of you is going to be completely dominant and Oh yeah. So, Beyonce likes perfection. When things go wrong, like people have been fired on the tour. Yeah. Beyonce has fired people on the tour. If you're not doing your job, you will be fired. Yeah. Look at all the money they making on Dot Show. Hmm. Yeah, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult situation to be in, but it's yeah. I mean, what would make other people believe anything else other than you know uh, production costs, all of that. So yeah, there's been a lot of talk behind that, but don't buy. What I'm saying is, don't believe the hype. Beyonce ticket shows is doing exactly what it's gonna supposed to do. She's making money. The show is a success. It's just costing them a lot of money to hit those marks. They had no idea Kendrick Lamar's tour was gonna do like this, or they would have probably pushed it back. I would have pushed it back, but your ego gets involved. You're Beyonce. You're not pushing your concert back for Kendrick Lamar. You're Beyonce. You're a bee, the beehive. Push back for a rapper? They never saw this coming. But even with that said, they're still selling out good tickets. So the only thing you're hearing that from, no, well, it's just that. Mm. No, because God's got to eat. Oh, that movie Obsessed, where she went to fight the Beyonce went to go fight the white girl. Remember that movie? And that white girl was kicking Beyonce ass in the movie. Don't touch me. I'm finna call the cops. They was gone, Beyonce. Watching that movie with black women is hilarious. Get her, Beyonce. It was so much. Like that movie was something else. They was Beyonce was supposed to hit her coming through the door. What she talking about? I'm finna call the cop. I'm like, she did all that pump faking before she ran into it. Then talking about something she finna call the cops. They was like, nah, see, that's that white side of Beyonce. Beyonce was supposed to whoop her up. Right, she just got off the Renaissance tour. Exactly. Oh yeah, blame. Yeah, this Diddy trial is crazy. That's what's going on right now. So we about to get into the Diddy trial soon. So love, peace, and hair grease. I'm gonna holler at y'all a little later.